This episode is going to be short and to the point. In fact, I can summarize it in 3 words. Black Lives Matter. Let's go.
This is the Maverick Show, where you'll meet today's most interesting real estate investors, entrepreneurs, and world travelers, and learn the strategies and tactics they use to succeed. And now, here's your host, Matt Bowles.
Hey everybody, it's Matt Bowles. Welcome to the Maverick Show. It is Monday, June 1st, 2020, and the only thing that seems remotely appropriate to talk about is the uprising that is currently going on in the United States. And I want to take this episode to, first of all, provide some context for what is going on. I know we have listeners all around the world in 130 countries. And then more importantly, to provide specific action items for ways that you can help and support. And it is urgently time sensitive. There is something that everyone can do no matter what country you are currently in and no matter if you're a U.S. citizen or not. Okay, let's start with the context. The police force in America systematically terrorizes or abuses or murders Black people every day, again and again and again and again and again with impunity. Police officers that murder Black people are almost never convicted. The police force as an institution creates a permanent, ubiquitous climate of violent racial intimidation that functions all day, every day, to ensure that every Black person in America knows that they or their children could be beaten or shot or lynched at any moment. This is the foundation of American society, and whether individual white people condone it or not, the reality is that all white people benefit from it. This is how white power and white privilege have been maintained in the United States for over 400 years. So with that context, about 1 week ago, 4 police officers in Minneapolis tortured and taunted George Floyd for 9 minutes as they slowly lynched him in front of a live audience while George and the bystanders all begged for his life. In America, this was not enough to get the officers arrested. Videos were then released showing the torture, taunting, and lynching from all angles. And in America, this was not enough to get the officers arrested. Then 428,000 concerned citizens from all around the U.S. called the local Hennepin County Attorney's Office demanding that the killer cops be arrested. And in America, this was not enough to get the officers arrested. It wasn't until the city of Minneapolis was burned down that one of the 4 killer cops was finally arrested. And he, by the way, had 18 prior complaints against him, and they've offered him the opportunity to get out on bail. So I want to be clear that we are not talking about some rogue or bad cops here. We are not even talking about a bad precinct, a bad police chief, or a bad city. We are talking about a deeply ingrained system of institutionalized white supremacy that is protected and defended by racialized state violence. And so when the very system of law and order is your assailant, is your occupier, is your murderer, it is not surprising that the same system does not provide you an avenue for meaningful redress of abuse. And so after trying again and again and again and again and again, it eventually becomes clear that the system itself needs to be dismantled so that we can build something entirely different based on respect and human dignity. So this uprising is not only about the lynching of George Floyd, it is also about the daily abuse and terrorizing and murder of black person after black person after black person by the police with no accountability. And so as people mobilize to challenge the fundamental legitimacy of that white supremacist system, what's happening is that system is showing its true colors in attempting to maintain and defend itself. The tactics being used by police right now are incredibly consistent across the United States in all of the different cities. And what they are doing is violently attacking the nonviolent protesters and the journalists. That includes driving police cars into crowds of nonviolent demonstrators and just mowing them down. It includes shooting people in the face with rubber bullets. It includes beating people with clubs, and on and on and on. The thematic consistency is that they are setting upon nonviolent demonstrators and violently attacking those people. And this conduct is incredibly consistent all across the country, and it's not just in the big cities. So I am currently recording this in a small town called Asheville, North Carolina, in the mountains of Western North Carolina. And even here, you had a small group of people families, children who were nonviolently demonstrating in support of Black Lives Matter. And what you saw was initially the police doing this public relations photo op, which is happening all around the country also, where they'll do a public relations photo op and take a knee with the demonstrators. And then within a couple hours, the same police department will be surrounding the demonstrators, as happened in Asheville just last night. They surrounded the demonstrators and fired upon them with rubber bullets and tear gas and flashbang grenades, okay? And we're talking nonviolent demonstrations with babies and children there, okay? They are also precision targeting journalists. And so members of the press, including major international news agencies, are clearly identifying themselves as press. They're clearly legally permitted to be there. They're identifying themselves as press. They have their hands in the air, and they are being targeted and shot with rubber bullets, sometimes in the body, sometimes in the head. The situation is becoming quickly, increasingly militarized. So they have deployed the National Guard, which is the reserve component of the U.S. Army. And they are now on the streets in military vehicles in a number of cities, and they've been seen driving through residential neighborhoods, shooting paint rounds at residents who are on their own porch of their own property. And now it appears that active military units are starting to be deployed as well. They're also arresting journalists, and they are arresting protesters at scale. So let me just put this in context for you. Over the last few days, over 4,000 people have been arrested in the U.S. for nonviolent offenses such as breaking curfew. They've also arrested journalists for lawfully documenting the demonstrations. But they have not arrested 3 out of the 4 killer cops who tortured, taunted, and lynched George Floyd on video. Please allow the utter moral depravity of that to sink in. Just take a moment and let that sink in. This is not a breakdown in the system. This is precisely how the system works. Let's be absolutely clear that white supremacist violence is the core founding principle of the United States. And what people of conscience are saying is that we want a different America. One in which, for the first time in American history, Black lives are loved and cherished and respected and honored and defended. An America in which Black lives matter. And as the repression and militarization increases, your support is more urgent and more time sensitive than ever. Okay, so the first thing that you can do is to make a phone call. And you can make this phone call from anywhere in the world. And if you're outside the United States, you just add the international country code and then you dial this phone number to demand that all 4 officers be arrested immediately. Okay, this is a hotline number, and so it talks you through it, exactly what to do when you call. The number is 612-324-4499. We're going to put that in the show notes. You can also sign the petition at justiceforbigfloyd.com, and we're going to put that link in the show notes as well. The next thing you can do from anywhere in the world is to donate money. So all of these activists who are being arrested, they need bail money and legal support. So I'm going to put a link in the show notes if you want to donate directly to the bail and legal support of the activists that are being arrested. And beyond that, you can donate to support movement organizing. So you can donate to Black Lives Matter, where donations fuel campaigns for justice in the ongoing fight to end state-sanctioned violence, liberate Black people, and end white supremacy forever. I will put that link in the show notes. You can also donate to the Black Visions Collective, a Black-led, queer, and trans-centering organization whose mission is to organize powerful, connected Black communities and dismantle systems of violence. And you can also donate to Until Freedom, which is an intersectional social justice organization rooted in the leadership of diverse people of color to address systemic and racial injustice. We're going to put all those links in the show notes, and I just want to salute everybody around the world that is standing up, marching, mobilizing, and demanding that Black lives matter. If you can't get out to a demonstration near you, please donate money. It really, really, really matters. Just go to themaverickshow.com, go to the show notes for this episode, click on one of the links and donate money. It really, really matters. And finally, please speak. Please raise your voice. Please use whatever platform you have access to demand that Black lives matter. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time.
Be sure to visit the show notes page at themaverickshow.com for direct links to all the books, people, and resources mentioned in this episode. You'll find all that and much more at themaverickshow.com. Learn how Maverick Investor Group can help you buy cash flowing rental properties in the best U.S. real estate markets, regardless of where you live. Schedule a free phone consult today at themaverickshow.com/consult. Consult. Now you can buy rental properties with tenants and local property management in place, so you don't have to be a landlord or a rehabber. To get your questions answered and discuss how Maverick Investor Group can help you meet your real estate investing goals, schedule your free phone consult today at themaverickshow.com/consult.
If you like podcasts, you will love audiobooks, and you can get your first one for free at themaverickshow.com/audiobook. Whether you want the latest best-selling novels or books on investing, business, or travel, try your first audiobook for free at themaverickshow.com/.